So speaking then about the positivity, how can you? We've talked about we've conquered our negative self-talk and lack of belief. How can we give ourselves a big confidence boost just prior to going into the interview?
Well, a couple of things you can do is, one, people need to realise what their talents and skills are. We have this thing in the UK where we don't like to big ourselves up, we don't like to sell ourselves. We're quite good at putting ourselves down. Where when you travel the world, some of the other countries are really keen on saying all the great things about themselves. So what you need to reflect on first is all your strengths and all your skills, all your big achievements that you've achieved throughout your career. So what are you good at? What makes you unique and different to other people? What do your employers and colleagues say about you all the time? I had a client recently who came to me for confidence, and she said, I'm at work and I just feel like people don't think I'm good enough to do this role. I'm in this position and I think I just sneakily got into this job role, but people are starting to realise that I'm not very good at it. So I sort of joked with her to challenge it by saying, well, why don't you just leave the job then? She said to me, I tried to leave 3 times. Every time I leave though, they give me a massive pay rise. So people have these very limiting beliefs, and they look at themselves from a perspective that is negatively compared to what other people look at them. So the first thing you need to do is realise your strengths, your skills, and your unique selling point. And when you realise what you're good at, you'll start to think about the emotional attachments to that. Because you realise you're good at your job, you'll start to feel good about yourself. And then the second part to this is we get people to stand in a confident way, because the way you hold yourself, your physiology, changes your state. You can always see a negative person at a party or someone who's feeling low or depressed because of the way they stand. You instinctively know that one person's a confident person and another person is not a negative person, but someone who feels maybe depressed or sad about themselves. And it's all in their body. And if you change the way you stand, if you stand like a confident person stands, you hold your head up high, express yourself with your gestures, you'll start to feel that emotion because your mind and your body are really, really connected. So what we do is get people to look at their strengths, their skills, and then we get people to hold themselves like they are a confident person. And those two things start to make people feel more confident about themselves.
So getting a power pose that they can just go into, whether it's they nip to the toilet before the interview starts, and just get themselves in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, definitely. And there's other techniques that we use as well. We use a technique which is really famous in the NLP called anchoring. And what we do is we get people to visualise themselves doing something really well. And it can be anything. So maybe they're really good at bike riding, or they're really good at karaoke, or they're just really good when they're with their friends and their family. That's when they're at their best. And we get people to visualise this memory, get it big and get it bright, get it really vivid. Imagine that they're actually there so they can see things from their own eyes, they can hear what's going on. And when you see something from your own eyes, you can hear that past event when you're at your best, you start to feel those positive emotions. Focus on the positivity, you'll feel positive. And we get them to build this feeling up so we get stronger and stronger and stronger. And then we get them to anchor it by squeezing the finger and the thumb together. And what that does, that creates an anchor. And we do that with several different events. So maybe they're really confident with their friends, maybe they're really confident delivering presentations, maybe they're really confident when they meet another dog walker in the park. We build up several different events, build up the confidence, emotion, and then we anchor it by squeezing your finger and thumb together. And then what we do, when someone wants to be confident in a new situation, we squeeze that finger and thumb together, then that releases that emotional association. And I'll give you a real good example how that works. If you ever drive to work and then you see some flashing lights behind you, a police car behind you, you get an immediate emotional reaction, because there's a reaction anchored to seeing police flashing lights. And the same thing happens when you want to release your confidence anchor. If you squeeze your finger and thumb together, you'll then feel that emotional reaction, that emotional association.
So when you do the anchoring and you squeeze your finger and thumb together, do you need to also start to think about the anchor you've created, or will that automatically happen?
Yeah, that will automatically happen. So you build up the state, imagine yourself being really successful. When it's at the peak, squeeze your finger and thumb together. Think of a new situation, build that state up, squeeze your finger and thumb together, and do that several times. And every time you're out and you're having a great time, squeeze your finger and thumb together. Every time you do something and you feel really good about yourself, squeeze your finger and thumb together. And then just before the job interview, when you're feeling a little bit nervous, and you do want to feel a little bit nervous because that shows that you're eager, you're keen to get this job, and it gives a bit of real life to the interview, but you want to be more confident. So you squeeze your finger and thumb together, and that will release that emotional association of confidence.
It's a good trick. I'm going to certainly put that one to use and try it myself.
Yeah, and I love these stuff because they are so easy to use. Once you know them, you can use them, in